EasyVid presents the 10 best photography books. Let's get started with the list.
I like your way of shooting here, your way of approach. This one is very strong for me. This one, absolutely. Also this picture has a lot of questions. There are no answers.
Wow. Right, well, I'm still completely perplexed, but as you can see, it's in cellophane. It's a lovely cover and texture, and I'm going to try and break into it now. Let's try and get through the cellophane. So, there we go. Right, well, it's got a lovely embossed front. If you can see here, actually, you can just about see it. Can you read there? It says "Lost in the Wilderness."
The tones are absolutely incredible. The flowers are beautifully rendered. The composition is minimal and stunning. Perfect example. Let me flip back a few pages to the beginning because something else occurred to me as well. Let's just get that. So I'm going to go back to, you'll see a bunch of images. I'll show you one or two more before we finish, but I really liked these.
He was planning a big show and he asked me if I'd be interested in doing the catalogue. So I came back here with some images and then went back to him with one of the designers with kind of what we saw as the opposite, which was a softback book, an unusual orientation for a man who makes landscape images, portrait, with a proposal to use a large quantity of very different, quite strange Japanese papers interleaved into this, so creating chapters, 8-page chapters for each of the images or each of the series, and also creating occasionally a whole chapter around one image in which there'd be a whole load of details, but very, very large details. So you'd be able to see almost at the scale, because his prints are often very, very large, almost at the same scale as if you're standing in front of them, you might see some of the details, but on the page. Use gatefolds and other paper mechanics to explore the means of viewing his images.
Looking at this book, more than just a simple experience. You look at the photography, of course, but as a viewer you're also physically active because you have to do the work of opening up these photographs, looking at them, of course, and then you close them down again. You make things disappear. So there's a viewing of this book
unbelievable images. I mean, that's really all I can say is how unbelievable these shots are. Just beautiful. This is a beautiful book. Highly recommend going and picking this up. It is it's huge. I love big books. This one weighs a lot, under $50. You can't go wrong. And the quality of the work is second to none.
Amazing. Carson, you have a book, but you also have a coffee table you want to show us.
Well, and a lot of the fans were excited about my coffee table. And
Yeah.
I'm like Shy, I have 1,000 books because my coffee table is huge.
Ooh,
now, I actually made those from
nice.
stall doors from the Royal Winter Fair. Those are the horse stall doors.
That is gorgeous.
But it's a big table, and underneath is all books. So my
Nice.
favorite book is this one. It's called The Heirloom Tomato. And the reason I love it isn't just because it looks good with my shirt,
Yeah.
but also because of pictures like this. Now, it's all beautiful photographed. Hopefully I can show you there. So it's
Yeah.
all pictures of tomatoes that people have never really seen or they don't know. And I love the conversation topics that happen because people are like, that's what a tomato should look like? Because we have this conception of, the 7 types of tomatoes you can get in the grocery store and that's it, right? So I love...
And they're all like oddly shaped.
Exactly. I love
And they
going
taste
outside the
really
box, so to
good.
speak. Exactly.
Oh, that's super cute. Look, they made it like into an Instagram kind of thing. Yeah. You see the layout is kind of like Instagram.
Like being able to choose my own font and have it look a certain way. I'm picky like that. So if you're picky like me, then Blurb is definitely going to make you happy. So I've got different, I played around with the formats of the pages a little. I like the spreads, I like the contrasting photos.
The first book that I wanted to talk about today is called Unseen Vogue. This is something that I've actually had in my collection for a really long time. Before I started my course and before I even owned my own camera, I really loved fashion photography. Wasn't massively interested in fashion, but I just really loved the photography, especially in magazines like Vogue and Elle. I just thought they were absolutely beautiful.
And part of the reason I believed her was because she was having nightmares. She was always afraid that there was something wrong, that something wasn't quite right. And she just got up that morning and she was gone.
Dubai has not changed.
Has not changed.
Is there a subtitle?
There could be one. I'm leaning towards no, but the subtitle could be at the mall in the Emirates.
No.
Yeah. So then I think just Dubai.
Yeah.
Do a cross section, like as I was saying, doing something at Paris Photo, but then also at Off Print, like having, or doing like a fair in Peckham or something like that, is the same thing as like doing something with Thomas Ruff and then someone like in their late 20s or 30s, like Hannah Whitaker, and not having any more priority for Thomas than for Hannah. It's exactly the same approach, same everything is equal with it. So. Thanks a lot for this.
Oh non, merci, c'est super. Thank you.
Yeah. Should I show you good places for food?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, recharging. What sort of food do you like?
Reasons why I made this photo book was to give it to him when he is older. He will have this book to look back at his memories and he'll have it forever.
I think maybe at some point I could find a scanner and scan the pages, or each picture maybe even, just so, you could see them better. I like the kid pictures. There's some kids.
Fotolivro é similar a de obras literárias. Você tem uma história e para contá-la cria ligações ou oposições entre as imagens, separa a narrativa em capítulos, cria mini-contos dentro da história principal e vai envolvendo o leitor. Os fotolivros são complexos porque a literatura também é. E, assim como na literatura, há fotolivros com uma veia mais documental, outros que parecem um romance e outros que se assemelham a um poema.
El primer paso para conseguir publicar un trabajo es tener un trabajo terminado, un trabajo que sea coherente, que esté bien configurado. Entonces ese es el primer paso para conseguir publicar un libro, ¿no?
Types of images, all these elements go into making a book. Even just whether you place an image on the left or the right hand side, I could fill many hours talking about this, how this works and functions and why you want to do certain things and how some things might work. Here's another reproduction of some old slip here.
By Stephen Shaw. So maybe I'm a bit biased because he's one of my favourite photographers, but Shaw is such a master of his craft, and being able to see his photos in print is something that I feel like everyone should do. Every photo is so meticulously composed and thought through, and even though I've never been to most of the places photographed and I wasn't even alive when he took them, they give off this incredibly nostalgic feel. There's not much I have to say about his work other than just insisting that he go out and get it. It's really affordable, and you can even check out his other body of work, American Surfaces, which is some of his 35mm photography, unlike the large format 8x10 work in Uncommon Places. They're both amazing, and they're both really affordable.
I'm Stephen Shore, and this is my new book called Selected Works 1973-1981. I'll tell you how it came about. This is a body of work that's been published by Aperture as a book, Uncommon Places. But I realized that I had a lot more work from this period that never made it into the original book. Leslie Martin had this, I think, just absolutely great idea of taking this group of pictures, draw from that, and invite photographers, artists, writers, filmmakers to come and make a personal selection from it. I was looking for a less mediated experience of the world in a photograph. And I felt that the decisions I was making as a photographer were so influenced by my conditioning that if I removed myself in certain ways from the decision-making process, I would arrive at a less mediated experience. And I think to some extent it's true. I think ultimately I found that it wasn't satisfying, and that what I wanted to do, I felt that I ought to be able to understand an image in a certain way, understand the conditioning that I'm imposing, the visual conditioning, the artistic conditioning that I'm imposing on the image,